Hey, I'm Wiso Vazquez, and I'm back here again with my friends. You're listening to VS Podcast.
Represento mi bandera, lo grito por donde quiera. Mexicano 100%, no existe ni una barrera. Mucho menos nos separa una frontera. Con papel o sin papeles, yo vivo a mi manera. No me importa en cualquier país. Si el cielo se pone negro, gris. Escuchando a Gerardo Ortiz, celebrando fiestas patrias con dos Génesis. Cantamos mariachi y en acapela. Miramos a diario con los jefes la pinchina.
Hola amigos de Pancho vs. Army, aquí es Zargento, back again along with
Adelita G. How is everybody today? Welcome back.
How's everybody? Welcome back. Welcome after a Thanksgiving holiday. We're glad that you're all here with us today. We're excited to talk to you about some a very popular topic today, G. We're going to definitely share our thoughts, share what our perspectives. As we know, the new logo of the selección came out, and it's been the talk of the town, right, G? Yeah, exactly. I see that you're wearing it. Kind of like, okay, I'm gonna.
It took a while. It took a while for this color combination to grow on me, and now it's gone. It's going to be gone.
Right?
So let's take a moment to appreciate this crest because, yeah, we're going to talk about that because we have a lot of questions.
A lot of questions, a lot of being curious and trying to figure out, hey, what's going on? What's been the history, the transition? But it's interesting you brought up that crest because, again, a lot of us had different feelings about it. And it's, kind of like you said, it's starting to grow on you. And then all of a sudden they change it on us again. But that's life, right? But if you notice, I'm not wearing the crest, and for me, it's not because I'm not doing anything of like, hey, I don't like it or anything. It's because I told myself, hey, I'm gonna wear it. I'm gonna put my Mexico gear once again when Mexico wins, because I don't know, maybe I'm bad luck. Every time I'm wearing a specific color pattern, you know how superstitious we are. I'm like, you know what? Nope. And I have high hopes that they're gonna win this upcoming week, and I can wear my gear again. But
Hopefully.
With that. Let's introduce our guests. So we were like, hey, who can we talk to that we can have a good, healthy conversation about the new logo change, the new crest, our perspective, our thoughts, our understanding, and who better than our very own good friend of VS Podcast and Pancho VS Army in general, and someone who knows about logos, who's been a part of several.
And he's back by popular demand.
Give it up for Lin-Manuel Miranda. Give it up for Wiso Vazquez. What's up, Wiso?
Lin-Manuel Miranda. Hey, guys. How are you? Z, once again, thank you for having me on. And Gabby, first time I'm on with you.
Hi, welcome back.
Okay,
by popular demand.
By popular. Lin-Manuel Miranda? I have gotten that before when I had long hair and I had a little ponytail. So.
You have to start saying... You have to start singing Hamilton or something like that right now.
Yeah.
Start.
Yeah. Yeah, I was going to say, I wonder if you ever got that comparison. I'm sure you have. It looks like you have.
Yeah, I think when I take off the mustache and then I had a ponytail back in the day. Yeah. But yes,
I can see you in musicals too. You look like somebody that would be in a musical. So, oh yeah. Totally. Awesome. All right. Well, Wiso, thanks for joining us again, man. I appreciate it. First of all, how was your holiday, man? How was your Thanksgiving? What did you do? What did you eat?
Oh,
what did you wear?
It was good. It's like families come together, people invite some other people, and I'm always kind of nervous that some family members invited some friends, and I'm always kind of nervous that they're going to be like, we're kind of crazy. Like my dad going to say something, my brother going to say something. Is politics going to start? Everything was calm. Everything was good. I don't eat meat, and my mom always makes amazing food for me. And now some of my cousins don't eat meat. So now it's like this vegetarian kind of like now more platos for everybody. So that was kind of cool. But no, it was really good. It was good. And then, just started putting Christmas lights on the day of, and I'm still not done because there's a war in my neighborhood. So we gotta win. So
I was talking to G about this in our other podcast about how if I had no budget, if I had unlimited resources, I would be the Clark W. Griswold of Mexicans, because I would light up the house and people would be like, what is that house, dude?
There is my neighbor, which is 4 houses that way, and I can see his house right now. And
that's where you're getting your light from.
He's an engineer. He's an engineer, so he's got his lights linked and completely the music to like 6 tracks, and it takes him like 12 hours. Like he's gonna win because there's an actual like contest in the neighborhood in our Facebook group. So like he already won number 1, but second is up for grabs.
Wow. All right, you got this, man. We're pulling for you. Second place it is. Let's go. No whammies, no whammies. Awesome, man. Well, Wiso, I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, just my Thanksgiving. Same, we had family over. It was good. I guess the thing is, we typically don't watch football, right? During, but my brother-in-law and my brother are Cowboy fan and Raider fans. So that was yeah, that kind of ruined a little bit when it was going back and forth. And of course,
it's a good game.
It was a great game, but it gets kind of contested, especially when Raider fans, Cowboy fans, they're pretty heated. So
thank all the Latinos who broke like records of watching that. Like it was the most watched football game in like 15 years or something like that.
I can imagine. I can see that
with the Raiders and the Cowboys.
Yeah, G, I don't know if you can relate. I know you didn't have Thanksgiving over there in Mexico City, but you were enjoying some good beach time and some cocktails.
I follow you, G, and I think you're a 49ers fan, so I'm pretty sure you weren't watching it.
I was not. I was not watching that game. I was not. No, but I was not at the beach that day.
At that time, no, you weren't?
No, I was not yet.
Okay. You were about to head out to the beach.
You're
packing.
Yes.
Well, cool. Well, a lot of folks in PVA, again, hopefully you enjoy a good Thanksgiving, enjoy time with family. Now, of course, we're into the holidays and a lot more in play. But let's go into today's topic, which is, again, there was a big change announced. I don't know. It seemed like for me, anyways, it was out of nowhere. Like we heard the rumors, we've been hearing the talks. And as we know already, right, when rumors happen, they typically come true. Just think about like the jersey, right? The Rosa Mexicana, and things always get leaked. But I did not expect it to come out when it did. I would have expected maybe beginning of 2022. I don't know. Was I the only one blindsided, or did you all know it was going to happen this week?
I had no idea. It leaked like 2 months ago, maybe. But no, I had no idea it was going to come out officially.
I now have like a job where I do work with people that get the information. So yeah, knew that it was happening from the beginning of the year, and then they did put out a date of when it was going to be released. So, but you can't say anything, and people are looking at you. So I was like, once it was fully out, then I was like, hey, today is going to be doing it. But yeah,
you had to keep it a secret. So I was wondering, why didn't you give me a heads up, dude? Well, I guess you had to sign a non-disclosure or sign with blood or something that you can't say nothing, right?
It's almost like that too. Yes. So, yeah, I thought it was coming out. I didn't know what was the final one though. The one that got leaked was still not the final. There are 3 actually. So obviously that one got leaked. The whole thing got registered, but until the day of, I still didn't know if that was going to be the one that they were going to actually go for.
Okay. So you had an idea that there was it was going to be released, but did not know that was the final. Okay.
Yeah, that was the final. I actually, I saw some of the ones that were.
Yeah, gotcha.
But yeah.
Okay. Well, again, for me, it was, for most of us, for us folks that don't work in that area and don't have to sign, these things, we definitely were caught off guard. That was good job, everybody. A lot of folks didn't know. But of course it came out, and of course there was a lot of different perspectives and thoughts and I guess preferences of what it is. So let me just pull it up really quick and then just talk about, that's not it. That's our logo. Hey, what's going on, logo? Here it is right there.
There it is.
I don't know. I'm curious to know your thoughts of your initial thoughts, right? Because of course we saw this leaked out prior, and right away when I first saw it leaked out, I'm like, dude, I hope it's not it. I don't know.
When it gets leaked out like that with jerseys, they always look like crap though, right? Like the colors aren't there, like and when you figure out. So when I saw it, I'm like, I don't necessarily like it when it came out.
Yeah,
and I'd like to hear your thoughts. What do you guys have?
Yeah, but I felt the same way. I'm like, you know what? I don't know. Like, I think it's this change. We're so accustomed to something. We see it so often. I don't know. Is it a culture thing? I imagine a lot of people just don't like change, period. When you're so used to something for so long, you have an attachment to it. It's hard. It's hard to change. And I think that's where I was. I was like right away. And I think I just go into with those blinders of, I don't like it. I don't like it. I haven't even given it a chance, right? G, what about you?
I don't love it, but if they give us an super badass green jersey, I'm going to be okay with it. But yeah. It's fine, I guess.
The only thing that I can, like, okay, if I had to design, first of all, it is an incredibly hard job to do, and it was the way I know it is that they commission a few designers, artists, not just like logo makers, like artists to come up with the concept, and every little line is something different, right? So I wouldn't want to be in that job. But when I first saw it, my first impression, I felt like the eagle was a little bit soft. Like I don't necessarily see that as being an águila, right? It could be another bird. Some people say it's a hawk. Some people say it's a pigeon. So for me, it wasn't like a menace, like a tough, big eagle, like we've seen before in other. I think Germany has like an eagle, in theirs. And so it's the first thing that jumped out at me. As far as the color scheme, it's the green, white, and red. I like the circle. It's stuck with the México. That's still there. Remember, this used to say Federación de Fútbol Asociación. No, Federación de México, FMF, right? And then it went Selección de México. So it's changed over the year. Now it just says México.
Y luego le pusieron Pasión y Orgullo.
Yeah, Pasión y Orgullo. It has changed, if you see, and I'm sure you have it, like, white, and now it's just México. Which I kind of like that, right? Because remember, it used to be just FMF, and what was La Selección de México, and they're all different ones, yeah. So when you're looking at it, right, so it was México, it went back to having the México. Then it was more of the Federation crest, because I believe FIFA said everyone needs to have some type of official crest back in 1980s. Then it started changing, the soccer ball. And I think there's even one between that in 2016 where it said Pasión Orgullo, and then now it's completely kind of different one. So,
right.
So I mean, again, I think I saw some other graphic designers put in a different eagle, and it looked like it was like America.
Oh gosh, I'm glad I didn't do that one.
It's an actual big eagle that looks like an eagle that everybody has. Then it was too Americanista, and because of the eagle. So I don't know. You really want but again, logos are like that. Logos, I mean, I've worked with designing logos and brands for players in my job, and what like the official designers say, you look at a logo and you leave, and like a day later come back and look at it, because the very first initial thing is so new, you're not gonna especially if it's replacing a logo.
Yeah. So
I think the more you see it, and I started to see, I don't know if I tweeted something out last week that I saw it on a card, on a Banorte card, and I thought it looked actually pretty cool. Or I saw it on white, and it'll start growing on you, and ultimately, so I say, if you hate it, give it another few months before you see it on a shirt, just like Gabby said.
I don't think nobody hates. I mean, hate is a strong word. We're just so used to this one, me included. So it just have to be.
Yeah, I don't think anybody hated it actually. People,
no.
There are some people that once I think I put out there like who people are like, it's okay, it's not anything big. Our friend Carlos Justiz, he said that, and it's true, the old logo was really hard to put on stuff. And when, for example, I worked in some videos for La Selección and a sponsor, and putting it in a black background, it was like almost impossible because you couldn't see it. So then you turn it into white, but then the rules are you can't change the logo's colors.
Mm-hmm.
And there was only one logo, so it was always hard. So we have to find like a background image, and it was not easy to work with. And then obviously Carlos, I think he did say to print them into shirts, like the details of putting logos and stuff like that. So it needed to be modernized. Could they have gone with the same logo but just modern? But they went with a completely different logo, and we're gonna forget about it in 2 years and be wearing the shirt anyways.
Right, and like you said, I mean, it takes time. I mean, just for example, I mean, recently we just had the color change, right, of the selección to that, Rosa Mexicana. Same thing, right? There was it stirred up a lot of, I'll say controversy, but a lot of discussion around, do we like it? Do we not like it? Why don't we go back to the green? Why are we changing these colors? And I feel like, over time, it's gone away. We don't hear that discussion anymore. But actually, I've seen a lot of people wearing those jerseys. And maybe a lot of those individuals.
It was the best selling jersey by Adidas in the United States and Mexico combined. It had records of people buying it. And when you go to games, a lot of people are wearing more of the black ones. Like, you don't like it when you first see it, but when you see it on you, and for example, Gabby, I like the jacket.
I never saw it on me because I don't have it.
She's still on me.
I'm not over that.
Can we get Gabby one, please?
Yeah.
Oh, I somebody promised me.
Let's put a note. Let's put a note out there. I mean, I don't know if we have. I mean, is there anybody out there?
The jacket I love.
Okay.
But yeah.
See, everybody likes it until they get one, right?
I know.
So when they get one,
I know. We're gonna think of Gabby.
Wait a second. I gave you one. I gave you one, Z. And
Oh, speaking of that, G. Speaking of that, I have a large, and it looks like a pajama on me. And I've been telling Wiso, hey, Wiso, do you have a medium? Oh yeah, I got a medium for you, bro. And then we meet up. Big old trying to arrange it. We interchange. We exchange jerseys. I'm like, yes, I finally have my medium. I put it on. I'm like, dude, this feels just like the large. Is something wrong with me? Am I shrinking? Am I shrinking? What's wrong with me? And I look at the tag. It's a large again. I'm like, are you what?
I thought you said you had a medium. You needed a large, and that was just not me listening. Sorry.
So
sorry
G, don't worry about it, G. I mean, mine. I'm still wearing. I mean, I use it as my pajama. I just look like I look petite.
I made peace with it. I'm not getting it. I'm just waiting for the green one. I'm not getting it.
Regarding the jersey, we knew that there's off years and they're gonna try to do something different. Remember the black, the gray, the black stripe,
like the black stripes.
Adidas is always gonna do something different because maybe not our generation, ours, right? Our older millennial, which I would say we're around the same age.
I'm older than you too, I think.
I know.
I don't know.
Apparently,
I'm just saying the older millennials that we are, right? You don't necessarily wear your jersey out. You wear your jersey to the games and you wear them to maybe when games are. But Adidas is more like, you need to wear this jersey out when you go to a party, to a club, to wherever. And that's what these fashion jerseys that are coming out, like the black one, where you saw influencers wearing it and as a style. And you're starting to see more of these jerseys in all other sporting events.
Are they catering more to the American Mexico fan base too? There, Wiso, because I don't know. That's how you kind of made I don't know. I think we wear them all the time. Or what are your thoughts about that? Do you see that very common of just people wearing it every day for?
Yeah. You see people on the streets wearing a jersey if there's a game or not. I mean, it doesn't matter.
I think in the U.S. it's different.
But do they wear it as like a fashion?
Yeah. I mean, like fashion statement.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like here is like in the US, you see a cool jersey, you're gonna buy it regardless if you don't like that team, right?
Okay.
So you see people doing that. Yeah.
It happened with the Phoenix Suns, and you know that, right? That the Valley is one of the best selling jerseys because it's actually a cool looking jersey. It's black and it's really hard to get. And I think Adidas is like, okay, well, there's the fan that's gonna get it. But we want to make a fashion statement. And there's a lot of people that bought the jersey that are not necessarily Mexico fans that were like, that's a cool jersey. Arsenal came out. I'm not an Arsenal fan, but I want that jersey because it's cool because I'm going to wear it with, jeans and whatever kicks and stuff like that. So it's that fashion sense that Adidas wants to get the Gen Z generation plus that. And it did. I mean, everybody was buying this jersey. So I think
sometimes, you make a good point.
Yeah. It's not for us anymore. We're getting older.
I was gonna say because I'm pretty sure there's wedding photos out there of like people wedding photos of everybody wearing like their best outfit, and then you have that relative that has a Mexico jersey to the wedding, like and it's chanclas, like, hey, what's up? But to your point, I think you make a good point. Yeah, I mean, jerseys they're about that fashionable piece, and the Suns is a great example of that. The Valley shirt. I mean, those are popular. And to your point, I definitely love wearing that jersey all the time now. The pink one, or the fuchsia one, or the Mexico.
Like you can wear that out like with a jacket, and it's like it's black, and it's not like screaming Mexican soccer. And when I did wear it out, people were like, "Oh, that's a cool jersey. What is that, Mexico? Really?" Like they really didn't know. Unless that big crest in there.
Yeah, in the organization that I work for, we have, our color is fuchsia, and a lot of people are like, "Oh my gosh, you got a Mexico branded jersey?" I'm like, "No, it's a Mexico jersey. It's not a company jersey."
And it's not fuchsia, it's rosa mexicano.
Rosa mexicana, and I correct them, and I say my R really well. Rosa mexicana.
Rosa mexicano.
So,
wait, really quick. I was going back to Gabby. You said, you can't wait to see him in the green jerseys.
Yep.
Right. I have a kind of like a, I don't know, and maybe I'm just thinking about this. So we're supposed to get a green jersey next year because it's World Cup year and Mexico plays with green.
Yep.
Except even in 2010, we did have a black and a green one. But usually FIFA doesn't want you to have two dark colors, right? Say it's usually a white and a black.
It's a white.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But I'm hearing that we might have an old guinda, like the old selección that's coming out next year, right? Because of this monochrome color that with this logo, I don't know if you saw, there's like a whitish one that's like monochrome, and that goes in, and so I'm hearing there might be a guinda one. So I'm concerned now are we gonna have a guinda and a white, because you can't have two dark colors in the World Cup, although in 2010 they did have them with the black and green. So now I'm kind of like, are they?
I know G's like,
Are they not having a green jersey next year and putting the guinda in there just to be? And I think it'd be awesome, and I like that logo with it. Or are they having the green and that one and skip the white one and let's see what happens, like they did in 2010? So it'll be interesting next year.
Justice told me there was going to be a green and a white one.
Yeah.
So there's various different combinations going out. So I
unless
think we won't find out.
Unless there's a third kit that they're not taking to the World Cup. But the guinda one has been in talks for a while. Maybe they're waiting for the following year.
I guess it's one of those things. The last minute, like you said, so they kind of have an idea and they won't let you know till the last minute and be like, "Hey, surprise!"
No, and Adidas is like super like far up plan ahead. Like they already have like designs for like a couple years. That's why it's really hard to get something done with Adidas. For example, our Charlie Football, who's helped us here, with PBA, they can get a jersey done, right away. Which, yeah,
it's a different process.
Yeah, it's completely. But yeah.
So I know there's been a couple, and this is what I love about our Mexican culture, is that we're the kings and queens of memes in different, ways of just like taking something and doing a parody or finding what have you. I mean, we just had our last guest, Flor, right, where she became a meme, right, in one of her things. And a lot of the things, and now G shared this one as well, but of course there's already people are going, "Hey, I think it kind of looks like this," right? They're finding the connection with Pokemon, and so I mean I can just imagine the variations that we're getting out there, right? Whether it's different schemes or different creative ways, but talk about, we definitely like to find the humor in a lot of things.
It's hilarious.
But so tell us about, you definitely know a lot more about logos and going through various logo brandings. I mean, again, there's a lot of significance in the different pieces that goes into it, right? You have to explain, like, what does this mean? Why do we pick this? And this came out, I saw this and go, okay, here's a lot of explanation. So tell us about this. Like, I mean, does every little thing have to be explained in while you're creating something like this?
So I've been a part of logo and brand creation for athletes, like I said, and with a professional athlete that first gets to know the person, like completely what they like, where they're from, where they grew up with, and do research about their town. For example, I think, I had one of the athletes, this person really liked going to the beach in her little town, and the artist was able to create things from her past and inspired, and every single little line that they did was for something. And I could see that they did this with the logo for Mexico, which everything is inspired. And once you get to those professional logos and MLS and all of kind of those types of logos, it's not just, we're going to put a circle here for a reason because it looks good. What does a circle represent? We're going to put this line. And I think, as you can see in this graphic, is everything that was kind of put in there was explained, right? The logo border inspired, by the late 1980s. Then the circle logo structure inspired by the sunstone central to the design, which is there. Obviously, the incorporations of the Mexican flag with the green and red, the eagle, inspired by the Aztec and Mayan art. So it'd be interesting, like, where did they come up with this eagle? Because it's Aztec and Mayan, right?
Yeah.
We're not just the Aztecas, right? Because we have a whole, it's the other, the Mayans obviously in the south. So it's not just one thing. So I'm sure that was inspired. I really like the soccer ball, right? The Telstar, which is what in 1970s, and it's kind of been part of Mexico and that La Pelota, as you can see, right? And then I think the last one was obviously what is Mexico. There was some trolls that had like two circles, and it said that they were inspired for the 2-0 from the U.S. fans.
Oh, no. Oh, ouch.
They're always trying to find a way to get into our skin with like trolling us, but text inspired by the style of the 1960s, 68, 1970, 1986, that Mexico. So I think it's kind of cool that everything represents it, and you're going to see that in logos, what they mean when they're doing these types of escudos.
Yeah, well, people don't understand, right? I mean, again, we can easily, and I think you said it earlier. We know it's easy to have an opinion or to just jump in and jump into conclusions or criticize and whatever. That's easy, but they don't realize that's such a hard job, man. That you have to go. I mean, can you imagine you created this and like hearing all this stuff? Like, it's tough. Like, you have to have thick skin when you're working in that type of industry, I can imagine, because you're going to hear it all. And I hope that over time, it starts to calm down and people start to look at it differently, and maybe it becomes becomes a norm. It becomes popular. Who knows? We'll see.
And there are times where like logos are just bad, or they just. I mean, I think in some MLS logos that I think they were coming back and people were like completely against it. Right? I don't think this had that impact because there are some people that really didn't like other ones. I saw this. I don't know if you guys can see it. No,
is that your credit card information? What is it?
No, I'll send it over to you. But I think when I saw it, I'm like, is Banorte cool, Gabby?
I don't know. I don't know. So I don't have my money with them.
You do or you don't?
I don't.
So we're getting into personal stuff with Gabby. I'll send it over to you. But I thought when I saw it, I thought it looked really cool. So I'll send it over right now so you can see.
Yeah. So that's basically a design for a credit card.
Yeah, I think Banorte or whatever. I just saw it. So
that's cool. That's awesome. Yeah, and I guess when you start to see it in various different things, you'll start to maybe think differently about it. Like G said, maybe in the jersey, whether it be a credit
and
card,
jacket, a jacket gal,
a
hat. Maybe a hat like Wiso. It looks like he's.
I try to wear my like Mexico hat, but I look like a little kid because it's so big. So I do
That's
my
what I'm
hair.
saying.
What are you talking about? You both are little kids.
Oh gosh, by 1 year, G.
You're not like
1 year.
65.
1 year.
Cálmate, G. Yeah, no, I'm saying Wiso looks like he's like that, a celebrity walking in public. Like, don't recognize me. I have a hat. he looks at that guy. It's just like, oh, sorry, people know me now.
I wasn't. It's funny because I just looked at myself. When I was at the Charlotte game. I think it was Halloween, and there was like and my flight was delayed, so I was like a Friday night, and I went to go get something to eat, and there was a Halloween party, and I had this on, like, and I remember I just put. They had name tags like, what's your Halloween costume, and I put Eminem, and I just did this.
That's the best way, man. I love
and
those
like,
last.
Oh, wow, that's really your costume. I'm like, no.
Yeah,
so anyway.
That's funny. Yeah, I mean, you got to be creative. So, all right, so and again, I love what I like about the logo and the description. For me, anyways, I did, and I think that does help when you read their explanation of why they did the way they included things and stuff. That starts to help a little bit to go, okay, that makes sense. All right, that makes sense. And for me, anyways, what I like you said, was the ball and also the Mexico font that was used, because those are one of my favorite World Cup logos, right? Was the Mexico 70 and 86. I mean, every time I look at them, I'm just like, oh, dude, they're so cool. Like, I just love
that Mexico 86 one looks super cool.
Yeah, I'm just a fan. And that's for me, I'm like, okay, I can start to ease in and warm up to this logo. Again, it's going to take some time, but I think over time we'll get used to. I mean, how long did we have that other one? Even though there's been a couple of variations, it looked pretty similar over the years in the past, several.
It's 86. I think there was, that same soccer ball in there.
Yeah.
After I think it's been 30 some years. Yeah, since
That's a long time. It's hard to change it all of a sudden on both. It just takes time. But you know what? I can say this: it could be worse. It could be this logo, right? I mean, I'm just saying. Just be mindful. It could be worse.
I think they went through a logo. People didn't like it.
The shade.
If you look at the U.S. soccer logos, they've gone through a lot. I feel. Remember, there's a soccer one, with a little yeah. But anyway, but again. Do you know any other logos from other federations and changes? You kind of don't. You just see them, but you're like, okay. So it's gonna be fine. People are reacted. I think they're strategic. They did it now. Then the holidays come and people didn't like it. But I think overall, it got it's okay. We'll see where it goes.
What I'm thinking though, I think it would have been great, dude. I mean, honestly, that they actually start releasing some of the jerseys with that logo because this is where people are buying stuff, man. It's a great Christmas present, right? I mean, I think it would have been a great opportunity for people to start getting used to this new logo. But again, I imagine it's because of, they're going through this cycle right now. They just released this one not too long ago, several months back. They have to have some separation between jerseys, I imagine. So it's tricky.
Jerseys will come out. Yeah, jerseys come out next year. I don't know. I think it's not going to come out right at the beginning of the year.
So question: the federation is sticking with the old logo, and this new one is just for la selección?
That's a good question because I thought of that when it doesn't say Federación de Fútbol de México, right? FMF.
No, it just says México.
Federación Mexicana de Fútbol.
Yes, Federación Mexicana de Fútbol. So that's actually a good question. Are they gonna have their own, or are they just gonna use this one?
Because Mi Selección changed their image and logo on social media.
Yeah.
But not the federation.
Mm.
So I was just thinking about that.
Curious.
Maybe. I mean, if I go to the FMF website right now and it's loading, it has the old logo. So maybe this is just strictly for a Selección de México.
Yeah. Interesting.
At the same time, I don't necessarily see, Mexico jumping on and changing everything because, especially websites, they take forever. I mean, we even trying to get stats and stuff on games, they take forever. So I don't necessarily trust anything that's coming out of Mexico. But no, Federación Mexicana de Fútbol Asociación is still that old logo.
Yeah, so I guess it's gonna, we'll start to see if there's a transition little by little. I don't know. We'll see, I guess. So yeah, there you go. So a couple things to think about. Anything else around the logo that you found out, Wiso, that maybe we don't know about, that you're privy to, that you had to sign in blood?
Not say anything about it. It's been going on for a while, the logo change. So it's not like they brought up, oh, we're gonna do it. I think it's been a talk for a while. Even I think the pandemic, I don't know if it was, everything kind of slowed everything down now that everything's releasing it. So I would just say I think they did try. It wasn't like one person brought a logo and that's it. They went through an extensive process to see what the best one and what they represent. And there was definitely several artists that were part of that. And not sure if they're going to release who was the artist that did it, or is it just an internal thing. So
yeah, that's good to know. Yeah, I'm curious to know too, what when it comes to the art, right? They get all these artists. I imagine they pay them for their service and all that. But does imagine the person that won the final bid, or that they decided to go with your logo, I imagine there's quite a bit of more compensation than the ones that did it. It's probably,
I have no idea.
Yeah,
probably, or maybe. I mean, or you get to say you're part of the. I don't know if it was an agency or that did it. Hey, so yeah, interested to see how that is, but.
It's curious to know that process, whether it's hey, you're one of the three. Yeah, you're one of the top three. It feels so like go ahead, G.
I'm sorry. So this agency or whoever designed the logo works with the federation and Adidas? They work together, or just Adidas is in charge of the image?
No, I think this is all federation.
Oh.
Yeah, I think this is all federation. I don't think Adidas had anything to do with what...
Interesting.
Yeah. No, I think maybe at the end of the table, Adidas was in there and be we like that one too. But it wasn't like Adidas was the one that made it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think we're seeing a pattern here when it comes to a lot of the branding, and it's like a lot of things that are clean, simple. I mean, there's a pattern here too, right? I mean, it's kind of the thing right now.
Yeah, simple. It's because it has to be printed on stuff. It can be printed on things like that. So that is a giant coffee mug, by the way. Like, how big is that? That looks giant. I don't think that's healthy.
That's as big.
It's tea. It's not coffee, at least.
Regardless if it's tea, that's maybe the camera's making it huge, but that looks giant.
G has small hands, Wiso. So.
I have the tiniest hands.
Like G's only 4'6", so that's you are. So that's why it makes it big.
This very small mug, and I have big hands, and this is a regular size cup, so it's illusion. It's on illusion.
So now I have 2 trolls. Great.
First of all, I'm not a troll.
Yeah.
Sorry. So awesome, man. All right. Well, again, that's a little about the logo. I mean, I'm opening it up to PVA fans again. And even in our community, there's a lot of different perspectives. We're hearing that there's a lot of good discussions happening amongst various chapters and captains. All I ask is hey, just give it a chance. Like, I love the idea of like, hey, give it some time, look back at it, maybe it'll grow on you. I'm sure, like G said, once they start releasing some gear and some jerseys, I'm confident there's gonna
I'll be the first one buying everything.
Yeah, everybody's gonna buy it. That new jersey's come out. You're gonna buy the World Cup jersey, like,
of course. Of
course. Even the sorry, I had another
Charlie Brown.
Remember the ugly Charlie Brown red?
I have one.
Nobody liked.
I have one.
It looked super awesome against Brazil. Like, the whole stadium was covered by that blood orange, and it was raining. Like, that's iconic.
And it was raining. The drama.
Yeah, and we're never gonna have. You might not like it, but it was cool. Like, this pink one, right? They're probably not gonna come out with a black and pink again for a while, and you're gonna look back and be like, "Oh, I remember that. I have it."
I don't.
They know what they're doing. They know what they're doing.
Yeah. It's okay, G. It's all right. It's a once in a lifetime.
I'm the only one in the world in the PVA community that doesn't own.
And it's gonna be legendary, G. It's gonna be one of a kind. Hopefully your kids, when they get older, they'll enjoy another pink jersey in 20, 30 years from now. So it'll be all right. I like how Wiso's even more officially has the earpiece. Well, I'm sorry. They're calling from the studio. They said that we need to go change the subject to this.
We need to wrap this thing up.
So let's talk about the upcoming. I mean, we have one more final match coming up for Mexico, right? If I'm correct, unless there's something I don't know about. That's the Chile one.
For sure, there's not another match.
Yeah. So what are, what do we expect for this game coming up? So just let me put a quick little graphic. This just shows, this is coming up. It's going to be in Austin, the Q2 Stadium, which, it's one of the newer stadiums in MLS, right? So it'll be kind of cool for a lot of our PVA members to go out there. Chile, again, I know most likely, they haven't released, we're going to release this on Monday, but I'm not sure by then are they going to release the roster. Do you know if it's out already? Wiso, do you have an insight?
I don't think so. I don't know if it's out yet.
Who do we anticipate? A lot of folks are just saying it's probably going to be a very young squad, right? Most likely, probably a lot of the Liga MX players. Is that kind of what we're thinking is going to happen?
Yeah. It's because you also have the playoffs, right? So I don't expect whatever the teams that are going into the final to be there. So if it's León or Tigres or Atlas. So some of the players are already there. I think there's already a list, but we're seeing new faces, which is really good. For example, Acevedo that people were talking about, and I think the biggest news is Marcelo Flores. Right, everyone's getting ready to see this 18-year-old kid that's been doing amazing things, and Arsenal is doing, sub-23, sub-20, actually sub-18, I think, with Mexico. So everyone's excited because, if you know, obviously he can play for England, he can play for Canada, and he can play obviously for Mexico. But this match actually makes it really hard for him to choose another team, because if he plays for Mexico in a match like this, even if it's a friendly, he can play for Canada, he play for England, but he's got to make a one-time switch where he can't go back to Mexico. So, which I
Makes it
don't
harder
think
for
he's going to do. Which is, yeah, because Canada has tried to call him up. They called him up in December last year into the January camp, and he said no. They also tried to call him up for the Gold Cup, and he said no. So if he would have wanted to go to Canada, because there was an interview out there that said, hey, yeah, I want to, try it out. I'm not going to close my door, which who's going to say no? You're not going to say publicly that you're closing the doors on the national team. But I believe that he's going to play, and then we'll see what happens next year. I don't know if he's going to get called up to any of the qualifiers, but people are tired of the older generation not getting results. So I think this is a big game, and maybe we're starting to see that these games in the United States, you bring these youngsters. You bring like the one in Charlotte. Going into the game, I don't know if to help them, but Tata did see some young players that he wanted to call up later on. So maybe these some games, people say moleros, but this is where you see those young talents, and they're good games. So everyone's excited for Marcelo Flores.
Awesome. I mean, G was definitely excited. You definitely you perked up a little bit. I saw you go, ooh. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, he's awesome. Yeah, he's great, and I think. Yeah, I follow his dad on social media, and he's always posting and so excited because I believe there's 3 Flores kids, like 2
What's
girls.
feminine too, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and they're all
Mexico
in la selección. Yeah, and yeah, it's pretty exciting to see what he can do.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
So about that match, it's Chile. We don't know. I'm sure they're not gonna bring any other A game. These are test games at the same time. The new stadium in Austin, people are gonna go, and to see especially these players. I want to see Acevedo at goal. I want to see, I'm actually interested in this match with the European stars and players that are playing in Liga MX.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of folks, exactly to your point, a lot of, we right away go, oh, it's not going to be as exciting, whatever, but actually there's a lot that we can take away from this match. A lot of excitement for, especially, fans who want to see what's the future going to look like, what can be, what could be. But more than anything, I like the Marcelo Flores, I call it the drama, because I tell you right now, a lot of these outlets, right, they constantly bring it up. Where is he going? Is he going to Canada? Is he going to be for England? Is he for Mexico?
We have to really screw it up for him to go to Canada. Like, something must happen in the camp for him to be like, because it's not like he could go try to Canada and then come back. If he goes to Canada, he cannot come back. It's kind of what happened to Julian Araujo. He went to the United States into the camp, and he made the one-time switch so he doesn't go back to the United States, and now which is going to get called up for this game too.
Excellent. I like that. So yeah, and it's strictly those rules. I'm glad you brought that up, because a lot of folks, still to this day, it's like, how does this work? Like, how do you lock in a player for your country, and how all these things? There's so much around that it's just, it just seems like it's like a beautiful mind. Like, okay, so if he does this and he does that,
it's a dual nationals. Yeah, FIFA, I think, recently updated where you either have to have an A match, which is like a full-on tournament, or a qualifier and they're cap tied, or you can go into these types of matches where they're friendlies, and I think a combination of 3 within, then it gets you cap tied, or you can get this one, but then you can you can switch teams, but you can't come back to it. So if he plays, it'd be really hard. If he doesn't play, he could probably still play for Canada. And
I think the chances are, we expect him to play. I mean, I would hope so, right?
Yeah, I would think so. If they want to cap tight him. But then again, I'm also on the side where, like, don't rush to get players called up just because we want to cap tie them. Because it's kind of like, we got them now, and then that sets a precedent that we're just calling people so that we can call them later even though they're not ready. So there's a balance there, and I don't know where I'm at in that call, because as a player, don't like, if I was playing, don't just call me so you can have me in the future. Call me when I'm ready to go. So I don't know. I'm kind of like, but I think we should call Marcelo Flores because he's not good.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I think I can't find that graphic, but I remember seeing a graphic because, again, it was that, that recent Mexico versus US, was it under 20? What was that? That right? And
the tournament. Yeah.
The tournament, and what I noticed is that they showed that, hey, these are all like Mexican Americans, like they can go either one, and it's on both Mexico sides. So I think this is gonna. I mean, I think this is gonna be more of a thing as we keep,
Oh yeah.
You
saw it with Pepe, right? Pepe,
Yeah.
right? I mean, he's a great striker in MLS, and he made an impact with the U.S. And his first game with the United States was a World Cup qualifier. Of course, he picked the United States. There's no way Mexico would have even given him a friendly yet.
No.
So there's that too. And I always say, before I used to judge people, like now seeing Mexican Americans, like whatever they choose, be happy for them and let them go wherever they want. And if they make a mistake and they want to come back, I think David Ochoa played for the U.S. in the Olympics and then made the one-time switch now to be with Mexico. And dude, that's what's cool about being a dual national. You can check out both, but it's a hard decision.
No. Yeah, I mean, just think about being in their shoes, right? I mean, a lot of times we get upset, whatever, but it's their choice. I mean, I mean, going back to like the logo piece, right? I mean, it's a lot of, we can easily say that, but when we're in that situation, it's a tough choice. I mean, you have, I just can't imagine, having to make that choice. Oh, maybe I can. I'm going to go to Mexico right now. That's what I'm saying. But that's
I could never play for the U.S. But it's funny, that conversation, because there's no way I'll ever play for the U.S. Not that I was getting anything else. But if like I was really good at like track or like swimming and diving, if I got the opportunity to be in the Olympics, I would do it with the U.S. Like there's a difference between soccer because of 2002, and I've been over here. But if I can go to the Olympics, why not? Like walk in and be an Olympic athlete, I'll take it. Yeah, and I'll still say I'm Mexican, but I got the opportunity with the U.S. Hopefully I can have the opportunity in Mexico, but if any of my family members make that decision that they're like, hey, they got cool soccer, my brother is like, hey, I'm gonna play for the US, I'd be like, all right, dude, I don't know, it'd be hard.
Yeah. I mean, G, what's your perspective? I know you've been in Mexico pretty much your whole life until you were in baby G was in the US for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts? I mean, you have two boys, right? Let's say, your boys had to choose between Mexico and US if they were born here. What would your thoughts be around that?
Oh, no, they had to play with Mexico. There's no question. There's absolutely no question.
Well, what if not? What if they're like, I want to play for you?
I know.
I want to what?
You're still a mom, though. Like, okay, good for you.
Oh, yeah, of course. But I'm not going to be like with the USA supportive. I don't know.
See how it changes? Because I root for the U.S. Women's national team. Like, they're badasses. Go, like I also root for Mexico. Like that I could root for both. And when they both play, obviously I want Mexico to win, but I look at the US women's and I'm like, dude, and I think I had a poll a while back where it said, do you also root for the US women? Because you like the players, you like who they are, and I don't mind rooting for them. And maybe because it's women's soccer and you support women's soccer. But I think men's soccer is a little differently because there's the
rivalry.
I was crying in 2002 when the U.S. beat Mexico. Like that is never ever gonna get away from my heart. Like no matter what, I'll never root for them. I can respect them, and now that I'm working with a lot of U.S. journals and stuff, like good for you. But when it comes to choosing, you can't take that away from your heart.
No.
But if I'm going to the Olympics as a I don't know, as a skier. Yeah, dude, put that American flag on so I can get to the Olympics.
Skier. Out of all sports, you pick skier, man.
I don't know. I'm just saying, like, wouldn't you? Like, if you have all of a sudden,
I see you more of like curling. That's more your kind of. I think you see more as like curling. Yeah, you go with the broom.
No, I love skiing. My dad lived in Denver because he used to be like a carpenter in like the winter, and we used to go skiing. Like it was awesome, and I'm like, I think I'm the only Mexican up here in the mountain, but let's go.
I think that's a great way to. I mean, please to close up because this is funny. I'm curious. So okay, Wiso, you said if you can go, you would probably do skiing. And G, what sport would you go if you were to do a Olympic sport? What would you go as?
Tennis. I love tennis. I played most of my life. Yeah, and I was pretty good. So yeah.
But there's not like a World Cup of tennis.
No, but there's the Olympics.
There's Olympics. They're in there. Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So if the U.S. said, "Hey,"
the Olympics. No, the World Cup of tennis is Wimbledon.
Yeah, like Wimbledon, US Open, right? The Wimbledon,
U.S. Open, and
Roland Garros. But if the U.S. tennis association said, hey, we saw some videos of you when you were younger, and we want you to play and represent the U.S. in the Olympics, and you'd be an Olympic star. Would you do it?
But I'm not a U.S. citizen.
What if
this works for you too, not for me?
This is hypothetical.
Hypothetical, G. Let's say, here we go. Let's go back in time. Let's say you were actually born here.
Yes.
Okay. Let's say that neighbor never screwed with my mom's mind.
Yeah.
Did you know that story? Actually born in the USA.
Wait.
Okay.
You got scared.
That did not sound right at first.
What?
Your neighbor screwed over your.
I was like,
no, my mom's mind. I said.
Okay, I know you said mind. I was like, let's say my neighbor never screwed my mom.
I was like,
I'm sorry. Lo debí. Mejor lo hubiera dicho en español.
No.
Yes, of course. I mean, yeah.
You get to the Olympics.
Olympic U.S. athlete. Yes. Hell
Or
yes.
no. Okay, let me rephrase. Any country. Like, for some reason, I get a knock on the door and it's like, hey, you know, the Nigerian Federation found that you have a great-great-grandfather, and because you have that, we want you to play.
But what's wrong with the Mexican delegation? What's wrong with us?
No,
I'm asking.
no, nothing. I would 100%. I'm just saying that to get to the like Olympic dream, like I want a tattoo with the little Olympic thing. Like that's.
I think we're getting to Wiso's like all-time like dream. Like that would be his ultimate dream.
It's gone now. There's no way I'm getting to the Olympics. So.
I mean, I don't know. There's some sport like curling, dude. There's still a chance for curling.
Yeah, right. You start now.
Dude, you know what? I'm gonna go over. I'm gonna go over to your house right now. We're just gonna get a broom and we're gonna figure out a way to practice. Yeah.
Start getting a Mexican curling team, kind of like a Jamaican bobsled team storyline, where we're like, you know what? We know how to sweep really well. Why aren't we better?
Dale, Manu. Dale, cabrón. Dale.
We just need it. That's it. We can go to the Olympics.
That's what I'm saying, dude. I don't think there's an age limit for that, right? I think we can make it. You know, there's still hope.
I'm pretty sure it's like professional curling is watching this, like, you idiots.
Yeah, they're making fun of us like this. It's actually harder than you think. I'm like, wow, you know. Yeah.
I'm just don't want to offend any curling enthusiasts out there.
Sorry, my curling. There's a lot of PVA curling aficionados out there, so I think we might have lost a lot of them. All right. Well, again, I just want to thank you for taking this time to walk us through what does it take to be, for the logo, your perspective and your understanding, and of course, walking us through that. Any final thoughts, anything to close us out there, Wiso, of any upcoming projects, or just any final thoughts around this logo piece to close us out?
Yeah, I mean, I think it comes down to, change is always hard. It's going to take a while. Just like Gabby said, once it's on something, I'm pretty sure we're going to be cool with it. And in 2 years, we're like, oh yeah, this is a logo, right? When someone scores, they're going to kiss it. They're not going to go, wait, that's the new logo. I don't want to kiss it. Right? Like, it's once Mexico score, you're going to forget about everything, and you're just going to enjoy that passion that it is what we're all here for. So as far as next year, lots of games, qualifiers. We're not doing our best. It's been a rough year for Mexico fans with losing to the US 3 times, Canada talking all this smack. We're third in the qualifiers, but this is what it is about sports. Like, it's up and down. And for some reason, Mexico, you always have to be an up, and everybody's so angry. But it's like any other sport, they're going to have down seasons. But it's because, it's 4 years until a World Cup. So, we'll be fine.
Well said, Wiso. Thank you. G, any final thoughts on your end?
No. Muchas gracias, Wiso. It was nice being with you on the podcast for once. Y pues nada, voy a decir esta parte en español. Que nos vaya muy bien en el resto de la temporada, en el partido que viene, que es el último del año. Y que si no hay drama, no es México. That's the truth. We always have to have drama around qualifiers and everything surrounding the World Cup. So bring it on. We're ready. Y I cannot wait to see the new kits and the new jerseys with the new logo. And I promise I'm going to do my best to be on board 100%. And yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, G. Appreciate that. All right. Well, again, thank you both for, joining a nice, healthy discussion around the new logo and what's to come. Again, if you own a Netflix subscription. Don't forget to encourage, Lin-Manuel Miranda and his new endeavors. Is it Cheek Boom, or what's the new Tick Boom is his new thing? Great show. Again, congratulations on that. Always supporting.
We need him to practice Hamilton so he
Hamilton.
can. The next intro can be like.
Next intro would be
Hamilton.
Yeah, but again, Wiso, thank you. G, thank you once again.
Thank you.
We will see you next. We will see you after and talk about after this week's match. And viva México. Hasta luego. Gracias.
Los voy a demostrar. Don Vicente, un chingón para cantar. Jimmy humilde, que historia para contar. Y hay un chingo de estrellas difícil para terminar. Y la banda norteño, nos enfiestamos. Son las 3 de la mañana y no paramos. La cerveza en la hielera las enfriamos. Y aunque lleguen los azules, nosotros no nos.
Hey, it's Wiso Vazquez. Wait, no. Hey.
I know, man.
Do I say I now? Like, I do this for a living. Like, what the hell? Hey, I'm Wiso Vazquez.
Who am I again? Okay.
Who am I?
3, 2, 1.